love seats for the next. Couple models going hits. They don't even wanna pick. Wanna lick up on it. Yeah! I done made it.
Okay, it comes to play.
5, 4, 3, 2.
What's going on, y'all? Free Yourself Radio and Indie Jams. We are back with another amazing opportunity to interview artists, entrepreneurs, and creatives out here in Central Florida. If you are an artist, entrepreneur, or creative, tap in with us. We do have June 30th available, but we have Rare Phantom right here today, guys. And as you can see, he is ready. He has his bedazzled mask on. And so, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling phenomenal today. How's everybody doing today?
All right, we feeling good and blessed. We woke up. Some people did not, so appreciate you. So tell us a little bit about you. Who are you? Why do you go by Rare Phantom? Why the mask? Where are you from? Just give us some background about yourself.
So the name Rare Phantom, it comes from the fact that I feel like I can't be replicated. I am a one-of-one entity. Phantom, it could describe my complexion, my lighter skin tone, but more on the fact that I feel like I'm more observant. I kind of sit back, observe, and just take in. I let my music speak for itself, so I'm not somebody to be more overspoken than the next person.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's where the name comes from specifically. The mask, it just goes along with the fact that I'm the Rare Phantom. I have to be somebody who sticks out from the crowd, somebody who's different from the rest. So it just goes along with who I am, and it's part of my image.
Awesome. So where are you from? Are you from Orlando, or where are you from?
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, originally. And I am now in South Florida. I'm all around. You can't really catch me in one spot.
You said South Florida?
Yeah.
I'm from South Florida too. That's what's up. 954-305.
Not far from Orlando. I'm in Orlando a lot, but you can catch me all around Florida. I don't really stay in one spot, but I'm everywhere and anywhere.
Exactly. So what inspired you to start doing music? Like, how did you get involved? Who were some of the influences, maybe when you were younger, things like that?
Honestly, I've been inspired by every single artist that I've ever heard on the radio, on the internet, everywhere growing up, whether it be in a public place, whether it be in a friend's car, and just the fact that I love music so much because it saved me in dark places in my life, and it's almost been like an escape for me. Like, if I ever felt a type of way, I could just listen to a song and to escape into a different realm and just feel like I'm out of my own self for a sec and just escape whatever problem or feeling that I'm feeling. And just the fact that it's done so much for me in that aspect, I feel like it was my duty to give back to the music community by creating my own art to help all my listeners feel the same way and give them an escape whenever they're feeling the type of way. So I don't know, my love for music has been what inspired me to become an artist myself, and I feel like it was my duty.
I can relate to that. I feel like it is an escape, a lot of times, it's a therapeutic outlet, right? You can agree to that. So what are some things that you feel like people typically escape from, like with music, or what have you escaped from, like with music? How has it helped you? How has it, helped bridge the gap in your life and things like that?
Like everybody has bad days. You go to school, you might not be feeling the best, someone says something wrong to you, you take it the wrong way. So being able to just have music to escape to after the fact or during the fact, you put your headphones on when you're not really feeling like you're fitting into whatever environment that you're in. You can just put your headphones on, put on your favorite song, and just escape into your own little world. And the best part about music is there's so many different types of sounds and genres, so it could almost feel like it's tailored to you and your mood. So if you're feeling down, you could put on a happy song, and maybe it'll bring your mood up. Maybe you're feeling a little happy, you want to feel a little bit more human, you put on a little bit more of a somber, sad type of song, and escape into like a more like chilled out environment. So for me, whenever I was feeling too much of a certain emotion, I could put on a certain song that I feel like I wanted to indulge into that mood of. So it really helped me out in more darker times when I feel like I was alone, I was by myself. You put on a song that you can relate to and you feel like you're not so alone anymore, and that artist is speaking to you directly.
I totally agree. I love the fact that you're so thorough and, you know, elaborating on all this, because I agree that, you know, a lot of times mental health is so important, and a lot an artist, you know, they can relate that expressing yourself through music, it really is a great outlet. So what are some of your goals, like, for the rest of this year and maybe coming in next year? You know, do you have any goals, like, as far as you want to go a certain place and perform, you want to collaborate with certain people, work with certain producers, visuals? What are some things that we can expect from Rare Phantom?
I want everybody to realize the fact that I am serious about being an artist. I feel like a lot of people, they go back and forth with, oh, it's just kind of a hobby, I do this on the side. I want
glad
people,
you brought that up.
Yeah, to recognize the fact that I'm serious about this. I want to drop as many songs and as many projects as I can for as long as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And I just do it for the love of the game. I do it because I enjoy this. I don't really do it for anything else. Everything else is just a extra to me. It's an added on bonus to the process. And hopefully with what I produce and I release when it comes to my music, it could help as many people as
it will help. You gotta affirm it, right?
It will help people. It just
will help.
However many, you know, that's up for the people, whoever decides to indulge into that world. But that's my goal, is to really just release and help as many people as it can really get to. So my goal is to try and get it out to as many people as I can get to by being everywhere at once.
I'm so glad that you did bring up the fact that sometimes people look at music as a hobby, because it's very difficult sometimes, you know, for people to take you serious. They're like, that's not gonna last, or that's just, you know, a little thing doing aside, so waste of time. And we hear this all the time, and it can be discouraging for artists. And of course, you know, artists and creatives, they're multifaceted. You know, we don't only create music and poetry and whatever, and art. We also do other things. But how have you been able to stay motivated or stay encouraged, maybe for those that are listening that can relate to this, to kind of tell yourself, like, you know what, no matter if they doubt me, like, how can you stay motivated? What do you tell yourself or focus on to kind of stay the path?
Honestly, what inspires me and motivates me is paying attention to detail. I feel like the more I observe my surroundings, the more I'm inspired by, and I can just see the most mundane thing, like a nice little bird that's colorful outside, and I can be inspired by that to create a piece of art by it. So the more that I'm out in the world, the more that I interact with different types of people and I hear their stories, is all reasons to inspire me to create more art. Because not only do I want to speak my story and express myself, but I also want to express it for the people who feel like they can't do it for themselves. So
that's what we do in poetry. We snapped for that. I agree. I remember one time you reminded me of a time when I was younger. I went around, because I'm from South Florida too, Fort Lauderdale. Shout out South Florida. I was walking around Las Olas, you know Las Olas? And I was just like, you know, observing people, and I was just like writing down like notes of things that I observed and turn them into poems. So that's really powerful. I love that you do that. We're actually going to get into one of your songs, you know, listen to one of your songs today. So tell us a little bit about the song that you chose, you know, what inspired it, and tell us about it.
So the song that I chose is my latest release. It's called Betrayed Again. This song is important to me because it expresses how, when I was back home in Boston, I feel like I didn't really belong there, and the situation behind what happened that's being expressed in the song, it's about me being betrayed by somebody that I trusted a lot, that I put a lot of effort into, and they betrayed me. But I feel like it happened for a reason, because everything does.
Yeah.
So it happened because I simply didn't belong in the area that I was in. So based on that alone, I decided to make art out of it instead of letting it be a negative. And because of that, I decided to move to Florida to pursue being an artist, because at that point, I could just go back and forth and try the same thing over and over again, get the same result.
Yep.
But I decided I have to change everything. And it's the betrayal that caused that. But you could either make your situations that are negatives, or you could flip them into positives somehow. But regardless, we're going to have to deal with situations like betrayal a lot, but it's up to you to decide how you deal with it and how you let it become, in the end, the outcome.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for expressing that. So for everybody out there that's listening, if you're going through any difficult scenario, challenging, you know, don't retaliate. Turn it into art. Turn it into content, okay?
There's no reason to be negative and violent nowadays. You know, bad stuff happens to everybody. Nobody lives a perfect existence. So as long as you could stay positive and you could be creative you could turn any negative situation into a creative one.
Exactly.
And by doing so, you can also have an outlet for other people who may feel the same way, who feel like they aren't heard, to relate to, and maybe they could save themselves from doing something that's super harmful to themselves or somebody else. But just by you creating art and expressing yourself, just because of the situation that you were in, and it could be any situation. It could be betrayal, you could be backstabbed, you could just have a bad day and just have a bad stroke of luck. But it's up to you to decide to what you want to do with it. So I think people should be more creative and add more to the community that everybody enjoys. I feel like everybody loves art, everybody loves music. So why don't we add back to the community and expand it more as a whole?
All right, so we're about to get into it. Rare Phantom, let's go.
Drink Mitra.
Is that a sponsor? Or you just love it?
This is my favorite drink.
Okay. So after you take your sip, while he's playing your song, she's gonna take some photos of you. I think it would be good with and without the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt good. Indie Jams, Rare Phantom. We appreciate and love the fact that you were here with us, joining us today. So again, tell us where we can find you and how people can support your music. If they want to collaborate with you, book you, anything like that, let us know all your socials and how we can support you.
My socials, you can find me at Rare Phantom, RARPHANTOM, on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, YouTube. If you want to get in contact with me for any shows, any booking, anything like that, you could contact my management at Elevate MGMT. That's ELEVATEMGMT on Instagram. You could hit them up in the DM and they'll get you fixed with everything you need from me. But all platforms, I'm streaming mostly on YouTube and Spotify. You could find me with every single song I've ever released. I have over 100 songs. You could go stream everything from 2020 till now. But my latest release is called Betrayed Again. So please check that out. Leave me some feedback on Instagram. I'd like to know your honest opinion, whether you love it, whether you hate it. Tell me what you rate it. Anything at all. Don't be afraid to be brutally honest, because that's what I like in this world, is when people are brutally honest and they don't just fake the truth. They tell you what it really is. So that's what I'm looking for. But Rare Phantom, hit me up on Instagram if you want to get in contact with me directly, but stream me on all platforms at Rare Phantom.
All right, it was a pleasure. We appreciate having you here for Yourself Radio. Until next time, it's a wrap. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Floor seats for the next couple bottles going. They don't even wanna pick, wanna lick up on it. I done made a